Leprechauns are nothing like the way they're portrayed in America, by DariusPilgrim. I own a pub in Boston, but St. Patrick's Day is honestly my least favorite day of the year. Sure, it's great for business, but I just can't stand all the drunken assholes draped in green, swigging Guinness, filling the jukebox with Dropkick Murphys songs, and loudly proclaiming their Irish ancestry for anyone who will listen. Plastic patties, we call them. The kind of people who go to Ireland as tourists and get mad that it isn't Irish enough, as if they expect the entire island to be a theme park of stereotypes. I just can't stomach it, so I have a little tradition of my own. On March 17th of every year, I leave my pub in the capable hands of my manager. I go to the least Irish bar I can find and spend the day alone getting drunk and watching NCAA tournament games. This year I chose a little sushi bar in Chinatown. There's a few green streamers above the bar and a Celtics poster on the wall, but that's about it. The music is quiet, and the TV's even quieter. The staff barely speaks English. It's perfect. I settle into a stool, order a Bud Heavy, and stare at the TV. The bar is pretty much deserted. An Asian couple sits a few seats to my left, sipping Heineken and scarfing sushi. To my right, minding his own business, all the way at the end of the bar, is a guy in a red hoodie with a glass of wine in front of him. It's an idyllic setting to pass the time on my most hated holiday. But my peace doesn't last long. About a half hour in, the door to the bar bursts open and a parade of 20-something women stream in. They're all decked out in matching green "Kiss Me, I'm Irish" shirts, covered in green beads and wearing those headbands that look like alien antennas with shamrocks on the end of the springs. "Oh, for fuck's sake," I hear the man in the corner groan. "Oh my god, sushi and shots!" one of them yells, and they all start shrieking. The room breaks into chaos as 15 women simultaneously try to explain how to make an Irish car bomb to a bartender who barely speaks English. Then the selfies start. They strike up a round of "Shipping Off to Boston," but the chorus is the only part of the song they know, and they sing it over and over and over, while each of them takes turns filming for Snapchat. They're completely oblivious to anyone else in the restaurant. I watch the Asian couple to my left pay their bill and flee. I'm ready to do the same, except I've just ordered a new beer and don't want to waste it. One of the girls slams into the back of my chair as I'm trying to chug it down, and I spill it all over my shirt. No one apologizes or even acknowledges me. I pick up my beer and retreat to the corner, plopping down next to the man in the red hoodie. "Quite a crowd," I say to him. He scoffs. "Bunch of manufactured mix. These tarts couldn't find Ireland on a map if their lives depended on it." He speaks with a slight brogue. "Are you Irish, then?" I suppose you might say." "You don't have much of an accent." He takes a sip of his wine. "Been here a long time, long enough to lose most of it anyway." On the other side of the bar, one of the girls, now quite drunk, yells at the bartender to turn off the music. She plays "Kiss Me, I'm Shit-Faced" at full volume from her phone speakers, and they try to sing along. None of them know the words. "Oh, that shite's terrible. No Irishman would listen to that. Plain awful, that is." I'm with you. Came here for some peace and quiet, but it seems the green terror follows me everywhere I go. "Man after me own heart, Auntie," he says, and we clink glasses. "Thing me's young ones don't realize is in Ireland St. Patrick's Day is a solemn religious holiday, lacking in all of this debauchery. At least it used to be. I hear they ham it up now to keep the tourists happy. They've Americanized an Irish holiday in Ireland. Ironic, no?" I nod. "Not that I go in for any of it," he says. "It's a bunch of horse shit. St. Patrick. Pah! He wasn't even Irish. He was a bloody Roman citizen from the Province of Britannia." "Don't like the Catholics, then?" I ask. "Are you Protestant?" "Is that why you aren't wearing green?" He spits on the floor. "You colorblind, mate? Does my shirt look orange? No. Catholic, Protestant, they're a bunch of cunts. I follow the old ways. Sorry, I meant no offense. Let me buy you a drink, I say. He nods, and I wave over the bartender. 2 more, please. 2? He says. Yeah, 2. A bud for me and a wine for my friend here. Okay. I turn back to my new friend in the red hood and extend my hand. The name's Sean, I say. He shakes it. I am Oita. That must be an Irish name. He laughs. It's a Gaelic word, eh? Watch this, though. He nods to a young woman down the bar. She hoists a giant mug of Guinness, and just as the glass reaches her lips, a leak springs in the side, pouring a fountain of the black stuff straight down her blouse. She screams, slams down the cup, and starts yelling at the bartender. Olta and I have a good laugh. How did you know that was going to happen? Because I caused it, he snickers. That doesn't make much sense since he hasn't moved from his stool, but I let it go. So what do you do for a living, Sean? I own a bar. An Irish pub, actually. So this right here, I wave my hand at the chaotic scene around us, is my life 364 days a year. I've made it a personal tradition to escape on St. Paddy's and find a quiet bar to drink and watch the basketball games. No joy this year, eh? It's pretty tough to get away from it in this city. Suddenly there's a gleam in his eye. Watch this, he says. He nods at another drunken young woman. She leans back in her bar stool, and the whole thing comes apart. She tumbles to the ground screaming. Her friends flock around her like geese and help her from the pile of broken stool and spilled Guinness. They start yelling at the bartender again, asking him what the hell kind of place he's running. Holt and I are cracking up. Well, this is proving far more entertaining than I expected. How about another round? I ask. Aye, I'll get this one. He pulls a small red purse from his hoodie pocket. It looks like an old antique of some sort. From it, he pulls a large silver coin, which he slaps down on the bar. It's covered in writing I cannot read. I don't think they'll accept that, I say. No? He waves his hand over the coin, and now it's a $50 bill. He slides it over to me. You're just full of tricks, aren't you? You have no idea, he says, smiling. Another round, and how about shots of Bushmills? And tell him he can keep the change. I order. The bartender seems confused, but his apprehension disappears when I tell him the leftover cash is his. And here's the kicker, says Olta. His hand is on the bar. He lifts it to reveal the silver coin, still there under his palm. He flips it into the air and catches it in his purse, which he slides back into his hoodie pocket. How the hell did you do that? Easy, he says. I laugh and decide to humor him. The Irish are known for their wit. What is that? Like a leprechaun? Why, are ye after me Lucky Charms? He says, chuckling. No, I... Just kidding. No, mate, we're different. Leprechauns are like our cousins. We don't mend shoes or grant wishes. Instead, we drink. He raises his shot glass and downs it. But not Guinness, or red ale, or something. You bloody Americans and your Guinness. No, that's a myth. Ale is for the peasants. You leave a pitcher of ale out for me, and you'll find all sorts of things starting to go wrong in your pub. We drink wine, have been for thousands of years. Grapes were the one good thing the Vikings brought with them. I see. So the pots of gold at the end of the rainbows. Another myth, obviously. Though leprechauns do like themselves a hoard of gold, but try and take it from 'em, and you'll be in for a big surprise. They aren't as cute and cuddly as the cartoons make them out to be. Leprechauns. Cluricons. Vardarig. We're all Leosi. The good neighbors, the fair folk, like elves or fairies, I suppose you call 'em here, descendant from the mighty Tuatha De Danann, defeated and chased into exile in the mounds of the Malaysians. Your ancestors, the mortal forefathers of the Irish people, we are a majestic and noble race, and, wait, watch this. He nods at the bartender who holds a glass under the Guinness tap. When he pulls the handle, the entire tap breaks apart and Guinness shoots from it like a geyser. hitting the bartender in the face and sending him careening back into the bar. A cascade of bottles fall, shattering everywhere. Cooks and the manager come running out from the back, and everyone is screaming at each other in Chinese and trying to stop the flow of Guinness as the girls laugh and lean over the bar, refilling their glass from the raging spout. "Oh yes, so very noble," I say to my red-hooded friend. He shrugs. "Hey, gotta have a little fun once in a while." "So I see the mischief-making part is no myth?" "No, mate. That's the best part." "So you're a fairy?" I say. "Well, not in the way you Americans use the word, but aye." "Aren't you supposed to live in the other world, only visible at twilight on Halloween or something?" "Oh, an educated man, I see," he says. "Mostly right, but I get a pass for St. Paddy's. Something about reparations for the thousands of years, or persecution and genocide perpetrated against my people by the Catholic Church. And only those of Irish descent can see me, which is why the bartender keeps looking at you funny every time you order 2 drinks." I had noticed that. This was starting to get very strange. "Okay, if you say so, but you're a lot bigger than I expected." "Oh, I can shrink if I want to." "Shouldn't you be wearing green and dancing a jig?" "Few more of these," he raises his wine glass, "and I'll start twerking if you want me to. As for the wearing of green, it's another common misconception. Trooping fairies wear green, those flamboyant poofs trouncing around in big processions wearing fancy costumes, you ken. Solitary fairies wear red. We're the ones you don't want to mess with. You taking notes, boyo?" "Right," I say. I stand up and I put on my coat. "Where are you going, mate?" "It's been fun, pal, but I really can't listen to any more of your delusional bullshit. It was entertaining for a while, but you're clearly insane. And I'm going to check on my bar. And then I'm going home to sleep off this buzz. You have yourself a great evening." "Well, great, let's go," he says, and stands up from his stool. He's got to be 4'11" at the very most. "Well, where do you think you're going?" "I'm coming with you, of course." "Oh, no, you're not." "I most certainly am. You seem like a good bloke, and you've got a pub. Sounds like I found my new home. Make sure you leave a bottle of red wine uncorked for me every night, and no cheap shite. I'm talking top shelf. And I'll take my dinner at 8 p.m. sharp. I prefer beef, but mutton will do in a pinch." "Whatever, pal," I say, and I walk out the door, letting it slam shut behind me. Ulta walks right through the door and matches my pace. "Listen, you won't be coming anywhere near my bar." "Oh yeah?" he says, smiling. "Just try and stop me."